November 9th, 1989. History is made. The fall of the Berlin Wall and Germany's march towards unification. But what does Berlin look like exactly 30 years later to the day? Well, hold on tight. We're about to taste it. Das ist Berlin. This is Berlin. How would I describe Berlin? In a word, edgy. From the food and nightlife to the culture and architecture, this is an international city that does not sleep. It's a city with scars, and like most scars, they tell a story. And this one has a happy ending, because Berlin today is the epicenter of freedom in Europe, a hotbed of culture, art, and politics, with a food scene that rivals both Paris and London. At just over 3.7 million residents, Berlin is Germany's capital and largest city. Berlin's architecture is distinct, shaped in large part by the role it has played in the 20th century. From the Kingdom of Prussia to Nazi Germany, each national government has played a key role in defining what the city looks like. What sets Berlin apart from any other European city is its diversity. With over 20 different ethnicities helping to shape the city. And in this food tour, you're going to see it and feel it. Behind every dish, every story, and every person. From a city once divided in half by a wall, Berlin is now unified and composed of 12 districts, each with its own character and story. And my story begins in a corner of former East Berlin, between the uber-trendy neighborhoods of Prenzlauer Berg and Pankow. Surrounded by tired brick buildings and cobblestone streets, I made my way to Oz. Oz Ben David, that is.
Nice to meet you.
The wizard and culinary genius behind Canaan, Berlin's answer to the best vegan cuisine you'll find. Canaan is a Middle Eastern restaurant whose name refers to an ancient region of the Middle East, also known as the Promised Land. The food is a culinary work of art, as colorful as it is delicious.
We do it traditionally as we would eat it in Israel, in Palestine, no shortcuts.
Canaan and its owners pride themselves on being both Arab and Israeli, focusing on dishes that bring people together, where the two most important ingredients are love and memory.
Hopefully that people will, it will remind people how close they are, how much similarity there is between us.
From imported Middle Eastern spices and herbs to handmade falafel, no corners are cut in transporting you to the flavors and tastes of the Middle East.
Smell it now. So strong, aromatic, herbs.
And if you're looking for hummus that makes you go, then you've come to the right place, because this hummus is incredible. And it's a serious deal in the Middle East.
Hummus, it's a big name, it's like pasta.
Okay.
There is every country, every city, every family has their own way to make it. I want you to try the hummus, just natural, with nothing inside, and I want you to put the whole thing in your mouth.
Okay. It's fantastic.
I want now, as American, tell me what it's take you to.
I taste a very creamy, almost like peanut butter. It's
Exactly.
fantastic.
Exactly. When you eat this hummus, you understand why people argue about
Exactly.
who
That
it
makes
belongs
sense.
to. Now it makes sense.
For lunch, Oz picked out several dishes, and now it was time. A Middle Eastern feast in Berlin. Now, I will admit, I never imagined that vegan cuisine would be both satisfying and delicious. Oz and Canaan opened my eyes, mind, and palate to a whole new world of dishes and flavor. When you come to Berlin, you must come to Canaan, a place where love and memory bring people together over some of the best vegan food you will ever have. After a little time out to catch up on my jet lag, it was time to reconnect with my friend Sandra Labraska, who just so happened to be in Berlin. You may remember her from my time on the Amalfi Coast in Cilento, where I broke my finger. And so here we meet again, 4 months later, and this time, Sandra is taking me to the Mitte district, the former heart of East Berlin. Set back from the road off a dark and dimly lit street, you'll find Clarken's Ballhaus, a former ballroom and now restaurant and nightclub, serving up traditional German fare along with incredible music and dancing. Making my way through the ballroom, I caught up with Sandra, who has arranged for me to meet with some of her friends and coworkers.
So what do you love about Berlin?
With such a diverse table, I felt compelled to share what stood out for me at Cannes and the political theme that I'm beginning to pick up on here in Berlin, coming together.
They were just really talking about how the food there brings people together. And regardless of social, political...
And boy, did that start the conversation.
It's power of in any form.
Tonight, dinner was all about the people and the conversation.
Cheers.
But it all wasn't heavy. Instead of saving room for dessert, I saved room for dancing. And if you've got 2 left feet, don't sweat it. Clarken's has weekly dance lessons open to the public that you can take before dinner. And then after dinner, you can work off that meal under the spinning lights and disco ball to the sounds of the DJ mixing it up. From Middle Eastern and German to now Vietnamese, I'm heading back to the Mitte to the very popular Monsieur Vuong, where I'm about to learn everything there is about pho.
I will show you how to prepare pho.
Owner and executive chef Dat Vuong welcomed me into the kitchen, and it was a crash course of Pho 101.
So, Vietnam without pho is unthinkable.
Really?
Yes, pho is a noodle soup of the soul of Vietnamese people.
To make authentic pho, it's all about the broth.
So the broth starts with the rich bone marrow.
It is. This is a rice noodle, boiled into the hot water.
Add rice noodles, sliced filet of beef, added raw, the broth will cook it. Scallions, white onion, ginger, and oh, the broth. Topped with Thai basil, perfection.
That is
Finished.
beautiful.
Yes.
I love that.
And with this soup comes a story, Dot's story.
We were like boat people, and my mom came here first.
Boat people. What does that mean?
People were run away from
On the boats.
On the boat.
Hiding on the boats?
Yes.
And trying to get out of Vietnam?
Yes.
Wow.
A war-torn journey from Vietnam to Berlin and into the height of the Berlin culinary scene.
I just found the best name is like my family name, Vuong. Monsieur is Mr. Vuong. It's come from French influence.
Dot's vision for Monsieur Vuong is to be a complete sensory experience, to have guests enjoy all the senses, the smell of rich broth and fresh ingredients, the hint of incense burning in the background, the taste and the touch in your mouth, the sounds of the kitchen and the sight of the romantic atmosphere, an ode to old Vietnam.
Outstanding, Dot.
Thank you.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
It's time to head west.
Get it, boys.
So I'm on my way to Charlottenburg, a district in the former West Berlin. It is a great place for nightlife, and that's exactly what I'm off to do. I'm headed to the Monkey Bar at the 25 Hours Hotel Bikini Berlin, the most spectacular restaurant and bar concept with the most incredible panoramic view of Berlin overlooking the famous Berlin Zoo with a view of the monkeys, hence the name Monkey Bar. Monkey Bar is awesome.
Monkey bar, and we're sitting like monkeys.
Yeah, we're sitting like monkeys.
For a deeper look at what Monkey Bar was all about, I met with bar supervisor Toby.
All right, thank you. Dankeschön.
That's a vodka basil smash.
Great.
Yeah.
Prost.
Yes.
A vodka basil smash? Yes, please.
It is with vodka, lemon infused vodka, with lemon juice, fresh pressed, sugar syrup, love, and, and basil.
Monkey Bar attracts people of all ages, even on a rainy day like today. And it's hard not to take in the view without thinking of Berlin's history.
Come as you
Come
are.
as you are. It means you come up, whatever. Come.
Everyone is welcome, right?
Yeah, everyone is welcome. You can wear whatever you want. It's no problem.
Everywhere I've been in Berlin, that is exactly the theme that I hear all the time. Is everyone is welcome. Come as you are. There are no prejudices.
Yeah, true.
We don't care about differences. We care more about what brings people together, what the common.
Yeah, and that's the whole Berlin lives like this.
And now, I put Monkey Bar's unique seating concept to the test. My goal? Meet some new friends. Enter Trish and Naomi.
So I need to hear about this hat
Oh, look. Right. So
because it caught my eye.
I love unicorns.
Okay.
And this is my birthday present because it was my birthday this week. And this is the best hat, don't you think?
I do. I think that is the birthday hat. Well, you both have made my night tonight, Trish and Naomi.
We're going to end up on the cutting room floor, you know that, don't you?
What is the cutting room floor? So what is this expression?
When you edit it,
Yeah, oh, I
we'll
see.
end up
Okay.
like, you know, we'll be the bits that are on the floor. Fairly sure about that, yeah.
So let's make a bet that this clip makes the video.
Exactly, yes. Pinky promise me.
Oh wait, let me give you. This is my broken pinky. Let me give you my non-broken
pinky
promise.
For some more monkey business, it was time to check out the bar, where bartender Daniel delivered both an impressive drink and an equally impressive show.
Beautiful. Wow.
The Monkey Cobbler. Dark rum, fresh lime juice, German red vermouth, berry syrup, fresh berries, and mint.
Wow.
Taste of Berlin, huh?
Next, my bartending skills got put to the test with the King Kong, Monkey Bar's interpretation on the old-fashioned, starting with a frosted triple old-fashioned glass, cherry liqueur,
Very nice, yeah. You don't put a drop.
This is not my first rodeo.
vanilla syrup, some dashes of cherry bitter, a little chocolate spirit, fill it up with ice, stir.
Is this good?
Yeah, 20 around.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 20.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10.
Add some fresh shaved chocolate, orange, and bourbon-soaked cherries for the garnish. Yum.
So we had the monkey cobbler and the King Kong.
That's King Kong.
And if you're hungry, this place has great food too.
Oh God, is that good?
For the perfect start to the evening, stop by Monkey Bar at the 25 Hours Hotel Bikini Berlin for some unforgettable monkeying around. One of the reasons I chose to visit Berlin in December was for the Christmas markets. And one of my favorite markets is the Charlottenburg Christmas Market, just down the street from Monkey Bar. Stand after stand under a canopy of lights and Christmas trees. It was magical. You'll find just about everything at this market. Unique stands with gifts, rides and games for kids or adults,
Dankeschön.
and food from all over Europe, including one of my favorites, Langosch from Budapest.
Look at that. With the sour cream.
And even a little bit of rain doesn't stop people from visiting the market.
Guten Appetit.
Eating my way from stand to stand and wandering with some hot Glühwein is a must.
There's the scallion onion and the Weisswurst and the brat.
What stood out for me the most at this market was the people that I met. And that, for me, was the magic of Christmas in action. Berlin is a city and people united by love, focused on unity, not division. And nowhere was that more evident than at this market.
Merry Christmas.
Today it was time to do some sightseeing, and there are a ton of famous sites and landmarks to see in Berlin. And since there's a lot of ground to cover, I'll be showing you how to hit these in the most logical order, starting with Tiergarten, Berlin's version of New York Central Park.
We're in the center of Meat, and this is an incredible park. In 1933, it was going to be the new city center for Hitler's Nazi Germany.
In 1933, when the Nazi Party took control of Germany, a complete renovation to Berlin was planned, with Tiergarten being the central location in the new city. Another one of Berlin's most visited sites, the Victory Column, made of red granite, was built in 1873 to commemorate Prussia's victories, with the goddess Victoria sitting atop, nicknamed Golden Lizzie. Moving east, you will come to the very famous Brandenburg Gate. Built in 1788, the gate stands as a symbol of German history, unity, and peace. It also serves as the entry point to one of Berlin's most recognizable boulevards, Unter der Linden, that connect numerous sites and landmarks for sightseeing, such as the Reichstag. Built in 1894, the Reichstag housed Germany's parliament, which it did until 1933 when it was destroyed by a fire. And it wasn't until the unification of Germany in 1990 that the building was refurbished, and aptly so, it served as the ceremonial site for the reunification of Germany. From there, we hopped in the car and made our way to Checkpoint Charlie. Located between Kreuzberg and Mitte, Checkpoint Charlie was the name given by Western allies to the best-known Berlin Wall crossing point between East and West Berlin during the Cold War, from 1947 to 1991. Soviet and American tanks faced each other off here during the Berlin Crisis of 1961. The booth was removed in 1990, and the site today is a tourist attraction. From there, I made my way along the river, through Museum Island and the Berliner Dom, to Alexanderplatz, to what might be Berlin's most iconic landmark, the Fernsehturm. Or for those of you like me who can't pronounce it, the Big TV Tower.
Built in 1969 by the German Democratic Republic, it was supposed to be a symbol of communist power. Today, it's a symbol of unity and peace in Germany.
Finally, we made our way to our last stop on this iconic sightseeing tour of Berlin, the Berlin Wall.
From 1961 to 1989, the Berlin Wall was a physical and political barrier that divided the city and became a symbol of the Iron Curtain.
During this period, over 100,000 people attempted to escape the Eastern Bloc, and while 5,000 were successful, an estimated 200 deaths occurred from the failed attempts. With mounting civil unrest from family separation and poor economic and living conditions, as well as political pressure from the West, the wall was reopened in November 1989, with demolition of the wall taking over 2 years to complete, from 1990 to 1992. In the spirit of celebrating unity, I'm headed to Osmanstäuscher in Prenzlauer Berg, in East Berlin, for the best and most authentic Turkish cuisine and dining experience in all of Berlin. This is going to be epic.
Arzu, Lale, I am fascinated by how beautiful this restaurant is.
Everybody orders something, everything comes in the middle, and you share.
Owners Arzu and Lale are cooking up a Turkish storm in Berlin, and this is a place you cannot miss. And we start with a toast. In Turkish, şerefe.
Şerefe.
Şerefe. Şerefe.
And I notice you have to look each other in the eyes, right?
It's very German.
It is very German.
They say, if you don't look in the eyes while you say Prost or Şerefe, you will have 7-year bad sex.
No, is that what's happened?
Yeah.
It was so interesting to learn how Lale and Arzu got started and what inspired them to open a Turkish restaurant in Berlin.
It's really melting point of all the cuisine from the north, from the south, from the Mediterranean. You find everything, like from dishes from Iran, very sweet meat, from Greece.
China.
Yeah,
Mantas.
dumplings.
Really?
Yeah. So
They say it's from China.
Yeah, so Arabic food like hummus, so everything. Istanbul is a melting point, and that's why here is also the melting point.
Heading to the table, dinner was classic Turkish style, a mezza, or shared small plate experience, with about 15 of Arzu and Lale's closest friends. What a special meal, what an experience.
All these beautiful colors and dishes, what is going on here?
So first of all, different mezzes, called mezze.
The food was incredible, dish after dish of color and flavor, and the heart and soul of this kitchen are the mommies, cooking up the most delicious mezza I've ever had. The octopus was so tender, bubbling in the clay dish, melt in your mouth. And don't think of starting your mezza without some raka, a sweetened anise-flavored spirit similar to ouzo in Greece. Add a little water to dilute, and we're off.
Look in the eyes.
This was the best dining experience I've had so far in Berlin.
It is so freaking good.
Yeah.
Sharing food amongst a table of strangers, now friends, coming together over food, finding common ground, and creating new memories.
You obviously live in East Berlin.
I live in East Berlin now.
And the spirit of freedom and unity in Berlin did not stop. Over this fabulous dinner, I learned from Lena Peterson, an incredibly talented artist who paints murals all over the world, just how much Berlin has changed.
We're here in East Berlin, and it was like a huge prison. So you had microphones somewhere. You don't know. You don't even know if your partner is someone from the Stasi, listens to you and recording what you're saying, and then if you do something wrong, you could get in prison.
How horrible to live like that, right?
Yeah. When you have been in prison for so long, or you know what it's like to be in not freedom, you celebrate the freedom. And that is how it is like out here. You walk through the streets and you feel the inspiration, you feel the freedom, you feel like, yay, I want to celebrate life. You know, they celebrate the now. I know what it is to be not in freedom, so I celebrate it.
Too many days in the darkness, without a glimpse of the light. Running tired and broken and scared, but I swear I'll never give up the fight.
After dinner, the table decided to follow Arzu and Lale to their newest restaurant location on the west side of Berlin, in Charlottenburg. Under construction, we got an inside look at the building. All of us coming together to wish these two unbelievable culinary visionaries the best of luck in their new home.
I want to wish you much success with your new restaurant. If it is anything like the one that I experienced tonight, you will definitely be successful. I wish you all the wonderful energy and spirit and soul follow you from where you were to this location. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Just like a seed in a garden, you will grow to be tall, staring out over miles of land without it, but wanting to build a wall.
For a truly unique experience, I headed south to Kreuzberg to check out the burlesque scene in Berlin. And if you're looking for the best burlesque show and bar in town, then come to Prinzibal Kreuzberg. As if being transported back in time, step inside and enter the Roaring Twenties. Crystal chandeliers drip from the ceiling, red, green, and amber colored bottles light up the bar, and the sound of jazz invite you to come on in and step up to the bar. Welcome to Prinzibal Kreuzberg. The drinks here are serious. Every glass has a special drink, and every drink has a special touch, all inviting you to relax and leave your inhibitions on the doorstep. For a more intimate look, I headed downstairs to the dressing room to meet with dancer Arden Delacour, who opened my eyes to the world of burlesque.
Do you know I've never been to a burlesque show?
No.
No.
Oh.
So for me, this is a real treat.
Yeah. No, what
I have no idea what to expect.
What an honor to pop your cherry.
I know.
Well, burlesque is a wonderful art form that from the outside you don't instantly get that burlesque. For us, it's an incredibly feminist act for a woman to step on stage no matter what she looks like. It's not about women's sexuality, and we make it about women's, our own fantasies.
Now you may be asking how I could possibly eat any more today, but you cannot visit Berlin without hitting two of its most iconic street food establishments, Curry 36 and Mustafa's Gemüsekebab. During the day, it's not unusual to wait 30 minutes or longer in line to get this incredibly delicious food. So my secret? Go late. Go really late at night, and yes, even then, you will find a line. At Curry 36, get the currywurst, a savory chopped pork sausage smothered in a sauce made of curry powder and ketchup. It's so good! And of course, it comes with fries. It's midnight snack food heaven and absolute perfection. And because it's right next door, it's time to try the infamous doner kebab at Mustafa's Gemüsekebab. I got the chicken doner with vegetables, slathered in a garlicky sauce and topped with feta and all kinds of veggie goodness. And believe it or not, it's all about the veggies.
This is what you do at 1 in the morning in Berlin after a burlesque show. You come to Mustafa's Gemüsekebab for the best doner kebab in all of Berlin.
You told me I'm your anchor, I told you you're my pole. Through the wind and fire we try to hold on. We build this ship together, searching for a home. Despite the storm that hit us, we're still on board.
Berlin is a city that will surprise you. It will give you so much, yet leave you wanting more. This is a city about its people, and they will touch you. And when they do, it will give you pause to what life is really about. Loving one another, sharing in all that we have in common, focusing on that and not the differences that keep us apart. Celebrating life and freedom, one person and one story at a time. There truly is no place like home, and I think I found it. Welcome to Berlin.